Alright, what's up guys? Brand new deck profile today. We have Dark World, Danger Dark World. They actually got a new card, which is very exciting. I discovered this a while ago on duelingnexus.com, completely by accident because I just typed in Dark World and I found this card. But basically, it's actually a pretty good card. So it lets you special summon, it lets you target a fiend, a level 4 or lower fiend in your graveyard, and then special summon that monster and then discard a fiend, and that is not cost. It is a hard once per turn, but it's not cost. This card is actually really good because it works with a few different cards really well. It works with Cerule because it lets you summon Cerule, and if Cerule is summoned off a Dark World effect, your opponent has to discard a card. So sometimes you'll be discarding your own cards. If you summon it off of the charge into Dark World, you actually discard your opponent's card, so it allows you to hand loop your opponent to a certain degree, which is actually kind of cool. But yeah, it's actually a pretty good support card, I gotta say. I wish it wasn't common, but outside of that, it actually is very good, and it's definitely getting played in the deck. So this is the first time I'm playing a going first Dark World deck too. Usually I like to go second with the deck, but just because of this new card, I thought I'd try something new. If you have any recommendations, just let me know in the comments. But we play 3 copies of Cerule, Guru of the Dark World. This card's extremely interesting. If he's discarded, for any reason, you get to special summon him to your opponent's side of the field, and then it has an effect to make your opponent discard a card from their hand. But remember, if you summon this to your opponent's side of the field, they control it, which means you are the one discarding. And because they control a monster that makes you discard, you actually get the secondary effects of all of your Dark World cards, which is really cool, because if you know anything about Dark World cards, they all have really strong secondary effects. And the first other Dark World card we're playing is 3 copies of Silva. So what we do basically is we give them a Guru, we discard a Guru, special summon it to their side of the field, and then we make ourselves discard something. So we discard the Silva Warlord of Dark Lord. And basically what this card allows us to do is when it's discarded, you get the special summon. If it's discarded by your opponent's card effect, which is our own card, we can basically make our opponent shuffle 2 cards in their hand back into their deck, which is extraordinarily useful. You shuffle them back, you put them back to the bottom of the deck, which is really good because it's a non-discarding way to get rid of your opponent's cards. And you can actually do this multiple times in a turn, and if you do it multiple times in a turn, you basically leave them with no hand most of the time. And then you just summon like a Dragoon, you have a negate, you have multiple negates, and then you just leave them with maybe like 1 card in hand, which they're pretty much going to lose. But that's the objective of this deck, is just to hand loop them. Then we play 2 copies of Brow. This allows you to draw. You can even bump this up to 3. Right now I'm just kind of stuck at 2. We play 2 copies of Grapha. Words can't even describe how good this card is. It lets you special summon itself from the graveyard, and it lets you pop cards. It's very good. We play 3 copies of Snow. Snow has a primary effect where if it's discarded, you get to search, and then if it's discarded from an opponent's card effect, which we can make happen with the Cerule, you get to special summon a monster from the graveyards, which is also really good. We play, for the dangers, we play 1 Dangerous Uchinoko, 1 Nessie, 1 Jackalope, 1 Chupacabra, second Chupacabra, my bad, 2 Chupacabras, 1 Mothman, 3 Mothmans. That's a little confusing. Yeah, 2 Chupacabras, 3 Mothmans, and that is it for the dangers. Our last few monsters that we're playing 2 copies of Righty Driver. The reason we play the Righty Driver is just to get into Needle Fiber, and the reason we play 2 instead of 3 is because this deck has a lot of draw power, so you don't have to play 3. At that point, you start seeing multiple copies that you don't even need. So I like to stick at 2 copies of Righty Driver, 1 copy of Lefty Driver. Righty Driver basically allows you to summon Lefty Driver from your hand, field, or graveyard. From your hand, deck, or graveyard on normal summon. So you summon Righty Driver, and then you can summon Lefty Driver basically out of nowhere, or out of anywhere. So the cool thing about Lefty Driver is it works very well with Danger. So if you activate like Danger Mothman, for example, and you discard the Lefty Driver, and you special summon the Mothman, you draw a card. Let's say you draw the Righty Driver, you summon the Righty Driver, and you can actually summon the Lefty Driver from the graveyard, which is really cool. And the Righty Driver is a 1-card Needle Fiber, and Needle Fiber is a 1-card Yugioh. And Yugioh basically gets us into all of our other combo cards that allows the hand loop to be very consistent. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, we play this just for the consistency. You can also make the Crystron Needle Fiber in order to summon a monster called Desert Locust to get rid of one of their extra cards, but you don't have to do that. This is consistent enough. Then we play one Plague Spreader Zombie because this is one of the cards that you summon. This is one of the best tuner to probably summon off of the Crystron Needle Fiber. And then we play one Dark Magician and one Red Eyes Black Dragon for our Dragoon plays. So next we play one copy of Red Eyes Fusion. Obviously that's for the Red Eyes monster, for the Red Eyes Dragoon. Then we play 3 copy of Dealings. It is searchable with Snow among other cards, but the main reason this card is it's very good because with this particular deck we're trying to get to Cerule and Sylve as fast as possible. That's why you play the 3 Dealings, and it is also searchable with Snow. Then we play 2 copies of Charge into Dark World. I've already explained this card. It's a very, very good addition to the deck. This is just the going first version of the deck, kind of like a hand loop version, but I would still play this in the going second version because it brings back a level 4 lower Fiend, and it doesn't even have to be a Dark World Fiend monster. It can be like Chupacabra, or it can be like if you're playing Fabled Raven, it could be Fabled Raven. It could be a variety of other cards. It just has to be any level 4 lower Fiend, and then of course it discards and not for cost, which is really good. Then we play 1 copy of Card Destruction. It's still a very good blowout card in the deck. We play 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talents. This card is not only like a meta relevant card, but it's actually extremely good in the deck. Extremely good. So remember how I said Cerule you can discard and then put it on your opponent's side of the field, and then make the Cerule activates as soon as it's summoned to your opponent's side of the field to make you discard a card. Since they control it, they're activating a monster effect, which means that Triple Tactical Talents is always live. Because you will basically discard Cerule for any reason, like Dark World Dealings or something, summon it on their side of the field, make yourself discard a Dark World card, and then you can activate Triple Tactical Talents because they just activated the monster that you gave them. And now you can either draw 2 cards, steal a monster, or you can shuffle away one of their cards from their hand. So this card is like an additional way to hand loop them on top of allowing you to draw and do all of that other stuff. It's actually really, really good in the deck. That's another thing we kind of discovered completely by accident in the deck. Next, we play 3 copies of Drag Down. This basically allows you to look at your opponent's hand, take a card, and then they look at your hand, take a card, and then you both get to draw. This card is very good for getting rid of hand traps early in the combo. It's very good for getting rid of Nibiru, stuff like that. It's a very good card in the deck because you basically, you always know what's in their hand, and you can, like, let's say again, the objective is to get rid of all the cards in their hand, so you can kind of use Sylve 2 times and then use the Drag Down and get rid of whatever's good. And then we play 2 copies of Eradicator Epidemic Virus to get rid of whatever's left in the deck, or get rid of whatever's left in their hand. So that's the main deck. Let's go on to the extra deck. We have 1 copy of Dragoon. We saw why. And then for the Synchros, we have Metal Marcher for the Needle Fiber combo, Warlord Savage Dragon, 1 copy of Dingirsu because this sends, it's non-targeting, and get rid of Dragoon, very important cards. 1 copy of Cypher. Dugaris is very good because it draws 2 cards and then discards non-cost, so you can get your effects. 1 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, Hope Harbinger, the 2 best level 8s, rank 8s. Predaplant, of course, for the Dragoon. Link Haribo because it helps with getting rid of Link Cross tokens and with the Graveyard effect, and then it helps with certain combos with Cerule. We have 1 copy IP Masquerena, 1 Link Cross, 1 Saryuja, 1 Crystron Needle Fiber, and 1 Appaloosa Bow the Goddess. And that is it. Thank you for watching. This has been an entertaining deck to play. Have a great day.